People criticized a woman for dyeing her dog's fur red, but the reason why she did it is sad. A woman named Chloe sparked outrage because she dyed her dog's fur bright red. When she posted videos of her red dog online, many people commented, accusing Chloe of turning a living being into a fashion accessory. Others said she simply did it for attention, and some even said it was cruel to the dog, as it might get confused. But Chloe loved her dog named Dan and had been dyeing his fur red for years, long before she made any videos about him. People kept reporting her. This whole situation was really frustrating. Eventually, the backlash became too much, leading Chloe to reveal the sad reason why she dyes her dog Dan bright red to prevent him from being kidnapped. You may be wondering, who would kidnap a dog? Well, Dan is a Great Pyrenees Dandy, which can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. You might think this is overly cautious, but that's where this story takes a dark turn. There had been instances in Chloe's neighborhood of Great Pyrenees Dandies being kidnapped and then sold for a big profit. Many people don't realize that dog kidnapping is a big business. The dogs are usually kidnapped to be sold or used in dog fights. Thieves quickly resell stolen dogs to make money. It's a surprisingly common crime. For example, in April 2025, 160 dogs were rescued from one house in South Carolina, with almost all of them being stolen. However, dog thieves usually avoid dogs with obvious markings. They normally sell the dogs in the same area where they're stolen, meaning the dog's owner might see it around, as people who buy stolen dogs often don't realize they're stolen. This explains why Chloe dyed Dan's fur red. The dye lasts for 6 weeks every time Chloe does it, giving her and the police a big window to find Dan if he were ever lost or stolen. It's sad Chloe felt the need to do this, but because other Great Pyrenees Dandies had been stolen in her area, she felt she had no other choice. But what happens when the worst-case scenario actually happens? That's what happened to a man named Wang Yan. In 2012, 26-year-old Wang from China came home from work. His dog would normally greet him whenever he came home, but this time things were different. Wang's dog was nowhere to be found, leading Wang to believe his dog had somehow escaped. After searching day and night for several weeks, Wang's dog was still nowhere to be found. That's when Wang began to suspect something more sinister might have happened. In China, sometimes dogs are kidnapped and sold to slaughterhouses for meat. Also, slaughterhouses often pick up stray dogs. So Wang decided to check his local slaughterhouse. While he didn't find his own dog, he was horrified to see many other dogs being butchered for their meat. At this point, Wang realized his dog was likely gone for good, but he couldn't bear to leave all the dogs behind, knowing they would soon lose their lives. Wang had built up a net worth of several million yuan as he owned a steel factory. He decided to simply buy the entire slaughterhouse, saving all the dogs he had just seen. But Wang didn't stop there. He soon bought the abandoned factory next to the slaughterhouse and turned it into a rescue center for stray dogs. Over time, he continued to expand his shelter. Eventually, it got so big over 1,000 dogs were staying there at one time. The shelter took over Wang's entire life. He stopped working to take care of the dogs full-time and poured every penny he had into the shelter, eventually even declaring bankruptcy after spending all his money saving dogs' lives. Despite being bankrupt, Wang refused to accept any donations. Instead, he told people to send food and supplies for the dogs instead of money for himself. Since the day Wang bought the slaughterhouse, he has saved thousands of dogs' lives. Most of the dogs he saves go on to be adopted by loving families. Wang sacrificed everything he had, inspired by the pain he felt when he lost his own dog in 2012. It's a powerful reminder of the bond between humans and animals and how far that loyalty can go. Another perfect example is this dog. When a dog's owner passes away, the dog can become very upset, often laying down at their owner's grave, which is exactly what people thought this dog was doing. After the dog's owner passed away, she dug a hole where her owner's grave was. Everyone assumed she was doing this to be close to her owner, but the German Shepherd was actually hiding a big secret. One day, a woman named Vesa was at the cemetery in Serbia when she saw the dog and went over to pet it. As she did, she noticed the dog was hiding a litter of puppies it had been keeping safe in the hole. But there was a problem. The German Shepherd had not been going out to get food and water, leading to both the dog and the puppies being malnourished and unhealthy. The dog had been doing nothing but sitting on her puppies in the hole by the grave, keeping them warm and safe. Vesa realized she had to step in, as it's almost impossible for a stray dog to care for a litter of puppies. She took the dog and the puppies home and began to nurse them back to health. After just a few weeks, the dogs began to gain fat and muscle. Eventually, the puppies grew up, allowing Vesa to let other people adopt them, meaning each one went to a loving family, something that sadly not every dog has. Every year, 6 million dogs are abandoned by their owners, which is exactly what happened to this boxer dog. On a hot summer's day in 2024, some kids were playing near a drainage canal in India when they saw something moving in the dirty waters. To their surprise, it turned out to be a boxer dog who had been cruelly dumped in the drainage canal. The kids attempted to rescue the dog, but the panicked dog kept wading back toward the river, farther away from them. Instead, the quick thinking kids called the Blue Cross, an animal rescue charity in India. The Blue Cross made a makeshift rope leash and then used it as a lasso to lift the dog out of the water. The boxer dog was soon taken to a sanctuary where it was given the name Boxy. Boxy loved the sanctuary but dreamed of one day finding a permanent home. A few weeks went by and no one adopted her. But then one day, Boxy's dreams came true. A family visiting the sanctuary decided to adopt her, falling in love instantly. Boxy finally had a permanent family to live with, giving her a second chance at life and a first chance at love. Boxy's new family would never abandon her, and it's thanks to them, the kids in the canal, and the Blue Cross, that Boxy is alive and well to this day. An even sadder story took place in April 2025 when a dog named Raymond was taken to a hiking trail in Michigan by his owner. Raymond probably thought he was about to go on a fun walk, but instead, he was dumped on the hiking trail and abandoned. Raymond stood there lost for 5 days, waiting for his family to come back, not knowing they had no intention of doing so. Day after day, Raymond would sit on a pile of wood chips, watching the parking lot, hoping his owner would come back. As the days went by, hikers began to notice Raymond, eventually realizing that he needed help. But whenever anyone got near, Raymond would run away, only to return a few hours later to the exact same spot. One woman tried on multiple occasions to save Raymond, attempting to take him with her in her car. After realizing she couldn't save Raymond by herself, she contacted the KG Foundation, which rescues cats and dogs. The foundation arrived on the trail, but they were not prepared for what happened next. Instead of running away like before, this time Raymond ran right up to them. The rescuers were confused at first until they realized Raymond had walked over because he could smell their food. He was starving, having not eaten for 5 days. After feeding Raymond, they took him to a shelter where they saw him do something they'd never seen him do before: wag his tail, a sign that Raymond was finally happy. While at the shelter, things took a bad turn. Raymond had a nasty case of pneumonia. He was transferred to a pet hospital, but thankfully, after some weeks, Raymond began to get better, finally being friendly and wagging his tail again. Today, Raymond is still recovering, but as soon as he's fully healed, he will be ready for adoption. So while Raymond's first owners never came back, he will soon be adopted by a brand new family, one that will never abandon him or treat him badly. These stories are proof that dogs are humans' best friend and that people will do anything to protect dogs' lives, even in the face of cruelty. Comment below which of these true stories was the most amazing.